Hello and welcome to Edukemy's YouTube channel. My name is Harsh Singh and in this video we shall discuss the current affairs and guess it for today, 22nd of March, 22nd of April 2022. Let's begin this discussion. And before that, what is the essential message of the day? Hard work betrays none. It will betray none, and the first person to realize that the hard work is paying off is we ourselves, the person who has been working hard. And that will show up in every action that we do. A musician will be the first person to know before even their partner, even their friends, that their hard work has resulted in a better tune of the music that they're playing. It will be same for the person who is building their body or participating in gymnastics, and for the person who's preparing for the UPSC examination. You would know as the first person that your results are paying off. Success will pay off provided we work hard. It won't betray ever. So keep that in mind and let's begin. Spread this initiative if you like this enough. What we will cover today are Vision 2047 for the country. 100 years, and what is the vision? It's not released yet, but then we understand what is the possibility of it, right? So it's in the news. Water trains in Rajasthan because of the desert times, the dry times. Procurement of wheat, missile Sarmat, also called as Saturn II. In Russia, coal shortage. We've discussed quite a few articles, a few updates, something that you could definitely keep for yourselves. Coal shortage, bomb vaccines being developed by Indian Institute of Science, digital banking units, dairy complex in Gujarat, AlAqsa Mosque in news, and Jungle Ki Sherni from Jharkhand, a case study of lady doing very wonderful job in Jharkhand jungles. So let's begin this discussion. All right. Happy Earth Day to everybody. Good evening, Kim. Good evening, everybody. So the vision for India for the year 2047, that is 100 years of India's independence, has been almost set. The ministries have been given their plans. All the ministries prepare a perspective plan, what they envisage for themselves in the times to come. Even when the government changes, the permanent executives are the ones which implement the plan with the help of political executives. Permanent executives, who are those? Civil servants. Right? You people, future you people. So all the ministries have been given their prospective plan and also a plan which they look forward to in the coming 25 years. This 25-year period will be called as the Amrit Kal. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav being celebrated right now, and Amrit Kal, the 25 years from 75 years to the 100 years of India's independence, right? So this Amrit Kal period, what India has to achieve and what we envisage for 2047 will be set, and it will be released possibly on the Independence Day, 15th August 2022. So some excerpts, some inputs that people provided here about this are development of agriculture, commerce, infrastructure, industry, urban landscape. So rural landscape and urban landscape. Industry, infrastructure, commerce, security, defense, technology, and governance. See, these are some aspects of what the ministries are looking at, benchmarking some global norms and standards for development and progress in the country. So not only for manufacturing, but service delivery. They want to merge the PSU banks, create 3 or 4 mega banks, 3 or 4 mega institutions in every sector of the economy, have a robust semiconductor industry based in the country by the end of 2047, and have a green technology hub in the country for the development of the nation. Remember 2070, the Panchamrit target. So this is what has been envisaged: far-reaching transformation in governance, service delivery, health, education, security, all of them. A quick update: this will be prepared, and we'll understand a detailed plan as well when the time is right. All right. Good evening, Gopal. Water trains in news because now because of shortage of rainfalls and extreme summer, we've started to feel that difference already, right? And I asked a very relevant question right here: what is the impact of such shortage of rainfall and erraticity of rainfall in the agricultural feed? So one is wheat itself, wheat cultivation. And if you remember, I had discussed in detail about wheat production. The wheat seed which grows, that is the graining process. The graining process reduces if the temperatures are high. This is one impact. This has impacted the production of lemons, right? It has impacted the output of oil seeds. Erratic rainfall in January and Feb, excess rainfall at places, erratic and oilseed impact. So oilseed expensive, wheat, there will be there's going to be a there's going to be an issue if we start exporting wheat as well. Lemon expensive, right? So you should start noting at what are the things that you are actually on ground seeing are getting expensive because of such kind of issues. So right now it's not just agriculture but humans being deprived of drinking water, potable water, and along with that animals being deprived of the basic necessity. For example, the reservoir in Pali district needs to have 10 feet of water for these animals, muggers, to survive. I think these species are vulnerable species. Please do correct if I am wrong. So 10 feet of water is what they need for them to survive. However, what is being given to them, what is being available there right now is only 3 feet of water. So what these muggers would do, where can they go? All they can do is settle in some dug wells or some parts which are dug at the corners, and they have some water in them, and they sustain there for 3 to 4 to even 6 months during the times of distress. They do not move, so this is a cooling off period for them. They sort of hibernate and least of energy activities, and then when the water is decent enough, they come back to the places. Right now there are 2 trains running daily from Jodhpur to Pali to provide people potable water and to provide some water at these places, these kind of places. But then rescue is not to be seen, because you can't fill the complete reservoir with water, right? So 2 trains from Jodhpur right now, but then the situation can only get further deteriorated because of the summer season, which is only starting right now. So really makes me feel really difficult. The kind of situation the world is going through. This is real. Water in the reservoir is down to 3 feet. Crocodiles need at least 10 feet. Now, these crocodiles also muggers, they do not survive for many other reasons as well. So the whole subcontinent, India, Pakistan, Nepal, and Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, all of these were the places where this was it was their home to them. But then now, slowly and steadily, because of poaching, because of their eggs being trapped, right? They getting trapped in fishing nets because of agriculture, expansion of industry, the water bodies are further getting reduced. Because of all these, they are reducing in population. All right. So they seek shelter in den dugs, which are on lands which have some water available. So this is water train, and along with water train, the crisis in Pali in Rajasthan. You can use this as a case of how the animals are also feeling the brunt. Animal, flora, fauna, humans, all of them. All right. Water supply by train. Oh, so this is not new. This is not the first time that water is being supplied through train. Water is being supplied through trains to many South Indian states and many other places. So places in and around Chennai are being supplied water. Yeah, many places in the country already. Then next time I will show you an image of the water trains. This is not something very different. You should be used to a site like this. We are trying to balance this, but then there are times of distress. That is the depravity. Procurement of wheat, we have discussed. I would recommend you to start looking at the editorial discussions also. We have segregated this editorial discussion away from current affairs only to increase the quality and make it better for you to have a good answer writing there. And I don't only discuss the updates there, I discuss the complete theme. So we discussed the complete theme of wheat procurement by the world countries, right? Now the idea is being presented that since India has got extra wheat available, so please kindly look at the editorials. They're really insightful. I would recommend you to do that. Now, the idea behind export of wheat is that now since we have extra 25 million tons of wheat in the month of February end, and February end is what we have, and now Rabi season collection only going to happen on another 100 million tons. What will we do with so much of wheat? Can we export some? Because PDS supplies will take 45-50 million tons. What about the rest? We can sell it in the open market in the country. And what about export? We will get twice the amount as compared to what is in the domestic market, MSP prices. Is it a feasible strategy? It might be, or it might seem for this year that this is feasible and this is possible, this is practical. But the truth is that we have procured these 25 million tons of wheat in not 1 year, but successive years, 5-6 years. right? So maybe 5 million tons extra, but every time we have excess production, that is the year we are able to save wheat. But there are many years when we do not have excess production. That is the reason we rely on buffer stock to feed our Indian population. So if there is a El Nino next year, if there is a crisis of water availability, if the pandemic sustains or there is another disaster, we need to preserve this kind of resource for us. This is one reason. Second, India is the second largest wheat producer after China. But China and India are not amongst the top 20 wheat exporters. The wheat exporters, exporting economies are Russia, European countries, United States, Canada, Ukraine. These countries have got extensive mode of cultivation, and they have commercial farming. And here in India, the system is very different. So China and India are wheat consumers as well. India will not be able to export and respect its trade if it says that it will keep on sustainably exporting wheat to other countries, especially to distances like Egypt or places in European countries. The reason is very simple. They are far off. So the logistics cost, the transportation cost, all of them will add up to the expenses, and then it will not make the whole transaction economical, right? So we will not be among the reliable suppliers in the times to come. Being a WTO norm compliant, we cannot sell our subsidized product right away in the international market. That will also be a question. We sell it in the internal market, and then the middle person comes, and then we have to source it outside. All this is very expensive, right? Every middle person added will add to the cost, right? So we have to start selling to profitable destinations. Some of the profitable destinations are Bangladesh, Southeast Asian economies, right? All of them are rice producers, right? Tropical countries, and associated with more water availability. So those places and places in Africa, those are the places that we can look at exporting. They're nearby, and that is why my research says here that we should look at this product of wheat exporting for those places which are not being able to get wheat but are closer to the country, to our country. The second one, so explore regions, explore newer products, explore innovative mechanisms, but the same product cannot be exported to similar destinations and yield profits, right? So question on wheat procurement. And also the production of wheat is going to be lesser this time, because the whole graining process, the accumulation of the grain content will be lesser because of certain issues. For example, diversion from wheat in the times to come, diversification from wheat and rice, and productivity challenges, all of them are there, right? So please keep also studying the editorial discussions. All right, moving ahead to the second one, that is missile Sarmat. This is missile Sarmat of Russia. This is the first time that they've tested this intercontinental ballistic missile. This has got a huge range, and in fact this missile has got 10 different components in itself. 10. It can have 10 independently fired warheads. So 10 warheads which have multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles. That means that as it goes up high in the air, it might split up into 10 components. It will split up into 10 different components, and they will have independent re-entry into the atmosphere, to the atmosphere, and they might target the same destination from different places. Imagine this. At the same time as well. So the radars, ground-based radars, satellite-based radars, always get confused. This is one thing. The second is it has got greater speed, and the speed at which it falls at the target is also very high, which is called as throw weight. More speed and more throw weight, so destruction is high. The third issue and advantage of this missile system is that this is intercontinental to an extreme range. So firing over the North Pole and South Pole both, right? Carry 10 or more warheads and decoys, and has capability of firing over either the Earth's pole, 11 to 18,000 kilometer range. That is the range of a missile like this. So firing over the North Pole or the South Pole, anywhere it can fire. So puts the world in danger. So Mr. Putin says, after having test fired this missile for the first time, he says, it would make Russia's enemies think twice. Okay, that's what it is. Also called as Saturn. This is also called as Sarmat after the Sarmatians. These are indigenous communities from Russia which had highly developed horsemanship, horsepersonship, and warfare techniques. So this is the times of 4th century BC. All right, that's it. That's all I would like to discuss about this missile system. All right, so updated. Coal shortage, an update from here again. The shortage of coal is such that the availability of coal stock is 25% of the critical limit. 25% of the critical limit. That's what all the news items say, that more than 100 thermal power plants in India have fallen below 25% of the required stock, right? So below 25% of the required stock, that is the critical mark, right? So having less than 9 days of supply is what is possessed in these 100 thermal power plants. And coal provides for 70% of India's electricity. Now electricity rates have already flared up, already gone high. Why do we not feel that brunt? Because of cross subsidy. So another editorial, we have discussed this very clearly, of the kind of cross subsidies government gives in electricity supply, in sectors of railway management, in fertilizer subsidy. All of this needs to be curtailed, this needs to be cropped. Petroleum, the government is dependent on taxes. So I would urge you to look at the editorials as well. All right, they are not independent of this. Facts here, some analysis here, and holistic discussion there as well. So first is coal supply, coal shortage extremely at extreme levels. 2, still dependent on electricity. 3rd, due to this, the electricity supply rates have gone up, and who is bearing the brunt? The marketing companies are bearing the brunt, the distribution companies are bearing the brunt. Government is not raising the cost for the consumers, right? So this is another issue here. And because of this, see, the daily electricity deficit in India has increased from 0.3 to 1% in April 2022. So more power cuts, more industrial power cuts, more prices for the industries to pay. This has led to an 85% increase in the price of electricity traded on Indian exchanges, short-term exchanges of electricity. More than 85% price rise from 3 rupees per kilowatt hour to 8 rupees per kilowatt in March. Imagine this. So this is a drastic situation. If you were the administrator, imagine what would be the condition, right? Extreme pressure on maintaining the prices of electricity for growth of the nation. So that's why we are not looking. These are the factors because of which the World Bank, WTO, IMF, all of them are decreasing India's forecast for growth rates. Okay. Now, what else about electricity? Yes, the reason for crisis. See, demand is high, right? Economy growing badly. I mean, in a very good term, economy growing. This is one. Supply side constraints, shipping constraints from Australia, from other places, shipping constraints. Then heavy rainfall happening at times, so filling the coal seams. Supply chain bottlenecks. We have studied the supply chain bottleneck completely. The coal production houses, that is the NTPC, etc. These companies, they do not procure enough coal because they have shortage of money. And if they have shortage of money and they wait for the best time to purchase coal, then there is a complete bottleneck issue here, right? Now, earlier, Coal India Limited was the one which was the sole proprietor for all the coal production in the country. They, along with their subsidiary units, they would be the ones who would be excavating coal or who would be mining coal from all the coal seams, coal beds, and then further they would be distributing it to all the companies. Government in 2020 said, we will eliminate the monopoly of Coal India right now, and we will also start providing this coal to other coals as blocks to private parties also. You can not only sell it for your own consumption, that is the captive consumption, but you can also sell it in the open market. So this is how government tried to reduce the burden on a public sector enterprise and make it more profitable enterprise. See, the profit that the government takes in coal industry, coal mining, is such that it is on the revenue basis. The revenue earned, the government takes a share of this. All right, government takes a share of, suppose 100 crore was earned. Government says we will take 40%. Suppose it says 40%, so it takes 40 crore rupees. So government says if you expedite the production of coal, we will further reduce our profit margins. Right, so this is a good step taken by the government, and then government also introduced many apps to know the whole supply chain, where the coal is at what particular times. If you know the names of that, just put it down in the comment section. Warm vaccines, one of the important terms in news, being prepared by Indian Institute of Science in Bengaluru, And the idea is to have vaccines which can be stored at room temperature, say 35 degrees Celsius for 3 to 4 weeks, and at extreme temperatures as well for quite a few hours. The idea is to make vaccines available at those places which might not have these facilities. One important reason why there was a delay in vaccination in the country was also because the vaccinations were to be kept at a very optimal temperature, and then vials would have to be opened up. So if you've seen the vaccine container, it would be a very cool unit, and vials, a complete vial would be taken out, and they would line up 10 people in the queue before opening the vial, because once the vial is opened, the vaccination has to be taken in a certain time. Otherwise, the shelf life of vaccine gets reduced, the efficacy gets changed. So now if we develop these kind of warm vaccines, this is innovation, and vaccine availability in inequitable areas will be further low. So great step ahead, warm vaccine. Digital banking units, government says they will start introducing digital banks in the country. What are digital banks? 75 units of digital banks in 75 districts is what they have envisaged. 75 districts. Why so? What is the profit over the conventional banking? Conventional banking takes people, right? We have to pay salaries. Conventional banking also takes space, physical space, real estate space. Digital banking won't take that much. Only essential requirements will be set up at the digital banking space, and most of the banking will be carried out online, right? So right now, some agencies which provide these kind of services are neobanks. If you have heard of Razorpay, Razorpay Fine Money, Jupiter, Neo, these are the ones which are providing, but then they don't have, so these are fintech companies providing these kind of operations linked with NBFCs, setting up digital bank units. This will be the way forward for having greater margin for these banking setups. This will be the way forward for the future banking, because I remember having opened the PF account, right? So personal provident fund account. Everything happened through online transaction itself. That's the kind of digital banking that the banks offer. And if that is available to any of us, one need not even go to bank for any purpose, right? Apart from creating a demand draft, right? Even that application can be done online. One just needs to go and collect the demand draft. So this digital banking facility is the way forward for the future of the nation. Government has already planned 75 of them in 75 districts. Good step ahead for economy. Dairy complex. India is the largest producer of milk, followed by European nations, 28 of them, USA, then Pakistan, Brazil, China, Russia, Turkey. Okay. So point is, India is the largest producer of milk in the whole world, but then per capita consumption is not as high because of high number of people in the country residing. All right, so dairy complex being opened in Gujarat, Prime Minister inaugurating it. We had done one editorial on what are the shortcomings in the dairy industry. For example, the indigenous genetic varieties need to be secured. We need to have and empower the people who are operating the dairy units through giving them credits. The whole COVID time, people in agriculture, migrant workers were tracked, but dairy sector was not tracked, right? There's minimal data around it. Then providing these kind of services for animal diseases, those are important. Having units, having medical units which are mobile, which can move from one place to another, all those are relevant. And cooperatives play a huge role. So Prime Minister inaugurating this center in Gujarat gives significance to Amul, Anand Milk Union Limited, one of the first cooperatives in the country in the field of dairy sector, and then this emulated further throughout the whole nation. Amul kind of units established throughout the whole nation. You would know around your states if you can name the milk cooperative. For example, in Bihar, Jharkhand, there is Sudha Dairy. In Delhi and around, we have Mother Dairy. What about your places? Wherever you are, just type down the cooperative product providing milk to all of you. AlAqsa Mosque news. What is the reason? Another round of attacks around the mosque. So if you've known how religious or communal violence takes place, very similar round of communal violence took place right here. It was alleged that some people were attacked by some other people, and because of this Israeli forces, they came to AlAqsa Mosque and they started the whole thing, clashes started to happen again. So just a year back, we had seen how Israel could attack an indefendable nation. in some ways indefendable, right? So this place is a very important place, AlAqsa Mosque. This is a part of East Jerusalem, and Israel had occupied the whole place, East Jerusalem, after 1967, the war of 1967. See, Jerusalem, the capital of Israel, has two parts, Eastern Jerusalem and the Western Jerusalem, right? So Western Jerusalem is what was considered to be Israel's capital. Eastern Jerusalem was a part of the West Bank of the River Jordan, and then another part that is the Gaza Strip. These were the two parts that were owned by the Palestinian people. All right. Now, when Israeli occupied the Eastern Jerusalem area, also forcefully they occupied. This was an illegal occupation. They started constructing there as well. And AlAqsa Mosque is one of the important places there. There are two major sites: Dome of the Rock, Western Wall. All these places are very, very religious. AlAqsa Mosque is considered to be the third most religious site. This site, Dome of the Rock and AlAqsa Mosque, the third most religious site for Islam, right, after Mecca and Medina. Similarly, Western Wall is one place where the Jews worship, right? So very important place for all these three Abrahamic faith, and being controlled by Israel right now. So that's what is in the news. Khandoni Soren, all right, she is the warrior of the jungle, called as Jungle Ki Sherni. This lady from Jharkhand, what she does is she goes out every day morning with her battalion of ladies with her, and they go out in the jungle areas and they survey the jungle area for illegal felling of trees or any other illegal activity being carried out, and they look at it, they survey it, and they report to the forest officials. So if they do a thing like this, it is protection of the complete jungle and forested areas through the indigenous population of the region, right? So integrating the indigenous population in the management of the forested areas is a great way to sustainable forests, right? So people will not only be able to collect the minus forest produce, but they also will be able to protect the forest from people who are illegally felling trees or carrying out illegal activities, poaching of animals, trespassing those places which are not required to be trespassed. So this is how we give a great case study of people managing their forest by themselves, right? If there are questions, please put them down, and we will quickly meet in the featured news for today, that is on India's rural economy. Okay. Vihangam, Amlan, great, very good. Vihangam portal, very good. Vihangam map, we've discussed that in one of the current affairs session, very good. So let me look at some questions, comments. Happy Earth Day to all of you. Ashish says, during one IPL, water was supplied to Mumbai for watering grounds. Yes. Oh yes. IPL, one of the destinations for money management in the country. Going to grow very rich in the times to come. Even being compared to the European Premier League and other leagues of American basketball and football. And just 15 years of its formation. So we are crazy about cricket. We eat cricket, sleep cricket, and drink cricket. Bangalore is out of groundwater before 2030, many cities. Yeah. So water being out of the city is called as zero day. Zero day, I think. That's what it is called as. Climate change is becoming scary day by day. Yes, and we can see that. Energy crisis as well. Disparity amongst people. So civil servants of the future, ध्यान से देख लो क्या होने वाला है. Tata is popularizing, encouraging people to install rooftop solar. Okay. But sir, Russia is offering 30 to 30% discounted coal to India. Yeah, but if you see the total energy basket that India has, see, Russia being able to provide coal, what is the way out? The long sea route, Vladivostok. But then Vladivostok, is that the area where we are mining coal? No, not all that area. So there is a question on this, and see, this is where I have covered an editorial today itself. Why should we not depend on Russia and depend on the Western countries on our supplies, right? So Russia is a smaller economy. A simple example of this is India-Russia trade amounting to $10 billion itself, only $10 billion. And the major trading countries because of which India's trade to GDP ratio has grown is because of India's partnership with European countries, with USA. They have almost developed countries, less than 25% of the global population. However, their consumer demand is almost 75%. And that is why India's relationship with Western countries need to be strategically aligned. I'm not saying that if Russia is providing cheap coal and cheap oil, one should not take it. Not saying that. But it is in India's interest to look at where the future of growth lies. All right. Is it with China? Not very much, because they are very competitive in providing every service and good, right? We cannot compete with them right now. Russia, they don't have people, they don't have that much demand. Our diversification is not there. Russia's diversification of trade, whether it be output of trade or input of trade, is not there. It is only fuel base. So even in fuel base, if Russia's fuel is sustainably provided to us, they will accept this, right? But Russia has been popular for providing gas to everybody. European economies accept gas, cleaner mode of fuel. About coal, let's see. I will also read something more and get back to you. But good input, thank you. Khanan Prahari, Hima says, Vihingam, okay. Vikas Dairy and Amar Dairy Ashish in Maharashtra, okay. Gomti Milk in Tripura, see? Very good. Kim says, someday kindly discuss the topic human versus humanity for Earth. Okay, something related to ethics and around. All right, sure, I will. But yeah, if you like this initiative, share some love through likes, comments and shares. Let's quickly meet in the feature news for today, that is on India's rural economy and why to lay more focus on the same. All right. So thank you for participation and watching. We will quickly meet in the feature news video, and today is Friday. We will again meet Monday evening, but Saturday is the time when you start to look at what you've missed out, what editorial discussion you have not covered, what you've not covered in current affairs. Put it down in the notes copy, and that's how we proceed ahead. All right. Revise it well. Keep preparing for the examination, pre-examination. And we'll quickly meet in the feature news right now. Questions for offline viewers, please put them down in the comment section. We will get back to you. Thank you for participating.